Hello there. My name is Eric. This is a brief demonstration of a Twitch integrated chat application that I've built. It leverages Flask, OpenAI's GPT, and then connections to Google Cloud Platform, specifically BigQuery and cloud storage for data management. The first thing we're looking at here is our Flask app. Our Flask app has two primary routes: the authentication route, which will initiate the authentication process, and then the callback route, which will grab and then set our access token and refresh token. And then finally, we will run our Twitch bot, which allows us to interact with the stream. So let's go ahead and authenticate. So we'll set a couple parameters here. We want the storyteller. Yes, we don't want auto message. We would like to use audio, and we'll use our port number here. Default 3000. Now that Flask app is running, we'll be able to authenticate. I'm logged in, so this will be very fast. Boom, just like that, we're working. So let's run a quick command here. Eagle plus banana equals what? And so this is just a simple one-to-one assistant. It'll take the user's question and answer it, or apply context or give an opinion, whatever it's asked to do. Next, what I'd like to go through is the storyteller. I've got a diagram here to help make that a little easier. So let's start our story. Start story, banana and a beagle make friends in the backyard. And so what we'll see start to happen here, well, let's go over. This is the bot that's actually running. We just executed or started one of our commands, the start story command. Start story command is going to make use of the article generator. Let's take a look through what that does, but more or less it'll fetch a random article, do some checks on that article, and then output a summary of that article to GPT so that GPT can make a plot line based on that article. So if we take a look in here, what we'll see is we found a story. We took the first 1,000 characters roughly, and then we've asked it to, we've done some more dynamic content or dynamic injection, data injection here to help make the story a little bit unique. Things like the theme, the writing tone, the writing style just helps make this, this story a little bit more unique. You can see the plot line that's been generated here. Born in bustling Neon City, daughter of academic Leo Noble. A banana and a beagle become backyard adventurers. Jasmine faces moral crossroads. And that's what the story is telling here. So something else we could do is we can add to the story. E-hitch, Eric enters the backyard and befriends the beagle. The banana is jealous. And so that's just going to route that GPT prompt a little bit differently. It's going to input the user's plotline addition and continue to tell the story. So to show how that flow works, I'll switch over to this flow diagram. We talked about the article generator here, which takes a random news article, feeds it into GPT, and outputs a plotline. From there, we have our plotline, and we enter this phase of the storyteller. This phase is specifically going to have different assistants, different GPT assistants to tell different parts of the story. So we've got a start story assistant, which will take the plot line and generate the first line of the story. We've got a progress story assistant, which will try to develop plot lines and make the story a little bit thicker. And then at the tail end, we'll have a wrap-up story assistant, which will start to close those loose ends. And then finally, an end story assistant, which will wrap everything up, ending with the end. All the way through, we're adding the historic messages from the story to our GPT thread, and then we're generating a response and then outputting that into the chat box. So moving back over to our class diagram, there's one more or two more important classes I wanted to talk about. The message handler. The message handler effectively does all of our routing. Depending on what kind of message is sent, that message and by who or by whom, that message will be routed to a specific thread based on the bot that's going to use that thread to answer a particular question or continue a particular narrative. So in the case of the storyteller only needs to know the history of the story and any plot lines that the user wants to add. When we use a chat for me command, well, we're going to have a different history in that bot's thread. And this points us towards the other class that's really important here is the GPT Assistant Manager and associated classes. We do three primary things here. We create and manage threads, otherwise known as conversation histories. And then we have our assistants, each one containing specific instructions. Once we have an assistant and a thread, we can make a run or a call to run a thread based on a thread ID and an assistant ID, which will output the desired response. All the while, the BQ uploader class will be capturing data about the users that are sending messages and capturing the interactions themselves, and periodically filling up a message queue and then sending that off to BigQuery into some denormalized tables. Excuse me, some normalized tables. Anyhow, I think that wraps things up. Our story finished as expected. We can ask the bot to say bye for us. And then we can wrap this up. Thanks very much. My name is Eric. If you have any questions, let me know. The link will be included in the along with the video.